What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's going on with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to just briefly talk about how the charts are looking and some very important levels to watch for on an intraday basis. But before I do anything like this, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 for free stocks. The offer ends very soon, as in just about 2 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the overall market. So looking at SPY, this thing is currently up about 0.18% for the day so far. Looking quite decent overall, but one thing that's a little concerning, at least for the super short term, for those out there who are scalpers, would be this possible head and shoulders that's developing on it. We developed this left shoulder right here in the morning. We had this head that formed not too long ago at this 432 level, and now we could be forming a right shoulder right here for a potential sell-off. Just an intraday sell-off that's very minor. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. No guarantees, though. You want to watch for this break below these important EMAs, below this 430.5 area, and also like 430 flat. If SPY ends up breaking below those, that would be a big signal, especially if we break below 430.5. That's just signal for this to potentially play out. Now, this is just a very small intraday potential setup, though. If this does end up playing out, if we break and hold above 432, we could try to invalidate this signal. So we've been trading sideways for the last couple of hours. We'll see if this ends up happening or not. It's very possible the market sells off just a bit, and that's going to be completely fine. And the reason for that, at least for the bulls, is because when you look at the 4-hour time frame on SPY, this is a very key level. You will notice that we're about to get a bullish cross in the PPO, and this thing is starting to show life off this bullish crossover. And on top of this, right, the RSI is showing some strength as well. We have other indicators suggesting that we got some demand. And this looks a little bit more bullish. This looks like SPY is going to eventually try to break out. We'll see if we continue to push higher and higher. But whether we end up selling off a little bit or not, it really depends on different factors. Regardless of what happens, we look bullish, at least temporarily. Now, am I saying the overall market is going to explode and go back to crazy high numbers? That's not at all what I'm saying. The market is still, it could still be in a much larger like bearish structure, but even if we are in one, right? Even if we start pushing towards like 438 or 434, we could still reject and drop lower. But for now, we're going to be watching this bounce happen. The market is trying to rebound a little bit after selling off so hard, and it's due to do that. So I think SPY is going to eventually start pushing for this 434 level over the next day or two. I think there's more potential upside coming, but there's no guarantee it's going to last forever. So don't forget, it's okay to like secure profits. It's good to not be too greedy in a market like this, and that's not financial advice. So that's basically what my view is. For the super short term, we have this possible head and shoulders that it could play out. It really depends on if we break down or not. This could also be a trap, so be open-minded to anything just to be safe. And then on top of that, even if we do sell off, right, the market still looks like it's going to rebound more later on anyway. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, for example, this could rebound and start pushing even higher. It's still looking more bullish on the 4 hours, so this is not confirming that like head and shoulders so far. This looks like it's going to push up anyways for the next couple of days, and that could lead to more upside. And then for like, I don't know, as we approach like October or something like that, we could always come back down later on. But for now, the market's trying to rebound. Now, for Tesla, the same thing is going on. Tesla's trying to rebound, but it's not as strong. We want to see Tesla get above this 247 area. This is going to be a key resistance right here. 247.77. If we get above that and hold it, Tesla has potential to start pushing to get very close to 250. I think that's a real possibility. We have an accumulation structure right here. Bullish divergence off this drop. This was another liquidity grab down here, and Tesla's looking more bullish overall. So we're going to be watching this 247.77 area. If we get above that, I could see it getting very close to 250 at the very least over the next few days. However, it's still trying to hold up. It's still kind of like in this range, so watch it very carefully. If we end up breaking below 244.77, then we could see Tesla start sinking towards 242 again, which is still completely fine because Tesla could establish a higher low and start uptrending a little bit from here. Looking at Aapl stock, this is also starting to show some strength. Aapl is trying to hold above its 200 EMA, testing it around this 176 area. If we break below it, 175.5 is going to be a key support. But if we continue to hold this, we could just be stuck in this range between 177 and 176. It's been going back and forth for many hours, and so far Apple's not really moving much. Looking at the QQQ, this is looking very flat, but it's starting to show even more life than SPY, in my opinion. Because if you look at this, we have a nice bullish divergence, we have a nice accumulation. This looks more bullish to me. I would say that this looks a little bit more bullish on the QQQ. The 4-hour time frame especially looks more bullish. We're going to be watching 361 potentially be tested soon, especially if we hold above 360. That is going to be a key level, especially off this bullish divergence and bullish crossover. So it looks more bullish. I think 360 plus is on the table, 361 on the QQQ. Could we cool off? Do we have a head and shoulders on the 5-minute? Let me just double check this. I think the QQQ also has this potential setup. There's a possible head and shoulders. No guarantees it plays out. You want to watch it very carefully and see if we get this rejection and a drop below 358. If we do, we could sell off just a bit. But that's going to be completely fine because as long as we don't aggressively sell off again, as long as it's just a very slight sell off and maybe a bounce, as long as that happens, the 4-hour is still looking more bullish and looks like this is just going to continue to hold up nicely. So even if there's a small sell-off, it'll be very minor compared to the upside coming. This is just a sum upside after the amount of selling we did in the past. I'm saying QQQ could go to like 361, maybe a little bit higher. That is completely fine. But I'm not saying this is going to be like a crazy squeeze that's going to go so crazy. This could always be a trap and other things like that. So this is what we were expecting. On Nvidia, we were basically talking about this move. Nvidia potentially coming down. This is where it went to in the morning time frame. You guys can see right here it was dropping in the pre-market and it came down to about this 411 area. We were talking about 410, maybe bouncing off that. And then I was talking about this thing getting up to about this 420 area. We went up to about 425 at the highest. Nvidia is still looking quite tight right now. I would say it's very tight, but it's trying to reaccumulate. So we could see this thing try to hold above 420. If we close above that, it has a lot more potential. I could see it trying to make its way back to about 431, but not a guarantee just yet. We have to see it hold above 420, try to get a good close. That's what's going to give it more potential. We're going to be watching to see if Nvidia could do this. Technicals do look like they're favoring the bulls a bit more so far, so watch that also very carefully. The VIX is still kind of green, but one thing worth noting is the VIX has this rejection candle on the 4-hour time frame. And on top of this, on the 30 minutes, the VIX is looking a little bit weaker. You could argue it's like we have this bearish divergence right here that developed on it. This is now becoming a triple bearish divergence off a large rejection right here. And on the daily chart, it tried to get above its 200 EMA, but it failed to get above it and hold it. So it's looking a little bit weaker on the VIX. This tells me that there's a chance the VIX might start selling off because the market might start pushing a little bit harder. And I think there's more upside for the markets temporarily. Once again, I'm not saying it's going to happen forever. I'm just saying that for the short term, the market's going to try to rebound a bit after selling off so hard. And we'll see what happens after that. But the market could always go down lower as we hit October. For now, the market's trying to rebound and we're getting more signals suggesting that by looking at the VIX and etc. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I want to thank you all so much for listening. I will be back later on for another video. So far, SPY is holding up very nicely. It's not really, getting that sell-off thanks to the head and shoulders just yet or as of right now. So we'll watch it to see if that ends up being the case. So far, it's holding up, so we'll see. And don't forget to watch these supports very carefully as the market is still holding up quite nicely. All right. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys very soon for the final video of the day, and peace out.